I am Jason Sterling. Let's see here. Just trying to make sure I'm live. And we'll get started. We're not technically started yet. Don't count this as the start. I have to do a quick disclaimer here. There we go. Okay, we are started. And it does seem like it is working just fine. Let me turn this around. We're going, okay, disclaimer. This is brought to you in conjunction with the EA Creator Network. That's supposed to be in the first 5 seconds of the video. It's hard with live streams because I've got to make sure this is actually running and we're actually live before I kind of get started here. But I do think we're going, and yes, these two kits, well, yes and no. I bought the Castle kit, Castle Estate. There was some issue with getting the codes out to the Creator Network, and I really wanted to work on this build, and it was $5, so I went ahead and just bought the Castle Estate. However, Goth Galore, that came through the EA Creator Network. It was a free code, so keep that in mind, because we'll be doing a little bit of a review today. We'll be doing a walkthrough and kind of a review of Castle Estate, and Goth Galore. So yeah, keep in mind I got the Goth Galore for free, blah, blah, blah. Now, I'm going to try to make sure that my chat here is working. I'm supposed to be able to see chat popping up on my screen as I'm working here. I'm going to see if that is working. Sometimes it works and the chat comes across the build screen here, you know, this video get my main screen, the video game screen, and sometimes it doesn't. So let's see if it's working. No, not today. No, there it goes. Okay, it is working today. Yeah. Okay, so we're set. Whew. I'm Jason Sterling. We are going to take a look at the Castle Estate kit first. You can see two items here are already up on the screen here at the bottom. These are the only two kind of buy items. You know, you have the build buy catalog. Most of this kit is in the build part of the catalog. We have only these two items in the buy part of the catalog. There are 25 items total in this kit for $5, so it's about 25 cents per item. You can see here the number of swatches that are available. It's going to be around 12 like normal. This one has 14, but sort of the typical number of swatches, and even in what I would call the typical range of colors, right? I mean, none of these are a big surprise. All this looks pretty much expected. In this particular swatch, this Crest of Yore, this does come in two variations. So you have this suit of armor, this helmet of armor crest, and then you've got a more kind of traditional crest. I'm gonna see if I can find a good view of that traditional crest here. That's not too roughed up, so maybe you can see it a little bit better. That might be the best, but you know, you kind of see there what you have, right? So those are your two variations, and they come in various states of distress. Some of them look pretty new. That looks, you know, pretty new, almost brand new. That looks almost brand new. Obviously, that's roughed up. That's roughed up. Those are our two build items. I mean, buy items. Now, in build, we have quite a bit more. In build, we have a flooring option here. Let me kind of get this out of my way. Okay, so we've got one flooring option with the kit. It is weathered stone pavers. Again, wide variety, 13 or so different swatches here. Ton of different colors. Some of them are, again, new looking or newer. They all look weathered. So they all kind of look old. I guess it's just different stages of old, right? I really like this one with the moss and grass kind of growing up through it. Pretty cool. So we have one new flooring type. We have one new wall covering, which is bricks. Again, all of them are pretty much distressed here. We'll do a quick scan through. You know, they look good. It's exactly what we'd expect. Different levels of distressing. We've got gray, we've got black, we've got kind of a brown. That's a tan, obviously. Gray. right? That has a little bit of greenery growing in it, a little bit of moss and stuff growing in it. So a pretty nice selection. Let me get a little water there. I'm in Oklahoma right now. It's super, super dry because it's super, super cold. So we're running about the temperature of the dark side of the moon, and it is really cold here. And so I'm really, really dry. This is 12 swatches in this new sort of handrail. Again, we're going to see the same swatches that we're seeing throughout the rest of these stone items in the same distressed pattern. We've got this as well. And here in a little bit, when we switch over to working on this build, you can already see on my apartment building there where I've used some of this kit. You can see it right off the bat. It looks really good. I do really like it. I don't think there's a new gate. No, there is a new column. This particular column is really better to see up close, and I'm going to zoom in here to take a look at it because I think the detail on it, you can't tell as well in that picture, but this is it here up close. So see, you got like these 4 separate sort of round columns. Looks like they're kind of bundled together, you know. Great capital on it, really nice look to it. I don't know if that'll go up any higher, no. Comes again in our standard, 12 colors here, right? Some that look brand new, some look distressed. We have one new set of stairs here. Same thing, same selection of colors. You do kind of reach a point where, is there any point of showing each and every one of these? Kind of not. This is going to be the exact same thing as the fence, the matching banister to the fence, of course, which was nice. We don't always, I feel like, get a matching banister, so it's nice when we do. Okay, so that's in place. One thing I absolutely love, and again, I'm going to show you this in person here, is there is a new spandrel. This particular spandrel looks super, super cool. I love this. Here's a good example of it right here. This is the kid's bedroom. That's why there's twin beds. But you can see here, here's the spandrel. So it's got a really great Gothic look running between these columns. I love it. I think it looks fantastic. This is one of my favorite pieces of this particular pack. In here, if we move one of these stone columns real quick, let's see here. You can kind of see where it hangs down if you want to use that sort of detail and have it just hanging down from the ceiling, especially if you have the absolute tallest wall height, or maybe you take the floor out, you make a 2-story room. This would look really good up by the ceiling. Put that back. That is one of my favorite things, though, of the new pack, is that right there. I don't believe there was anything new there. No, we do have several new doors and a couple of new archways. I have used these doors throughout this build. Can take a look at, here's a really large one here. This is the size. I mean, they're pretty big, right? Like really, really big there. This is the smaller version. Use it as kind of an apartment door. Right here, I put the gate, to the front sort of entrance to the courtyard of this particular apartment building. And I use this type of arch to create a dining room here to help frame it out in this sort of 1-bedroom neo-Gothic sort of apartment. They're pretty big arches and makes a really great open dining room kind of feel, especially along with the columns. So all in all, as you can see, it's a pretty good pack. We also have this particular sort of frieze. It is the one that you can see. Whoops. Oh, for goodness sakes. Give me a second here. Here we go. It is this one here. Let's see if we can find a better kind of version of it. This is that. It just doesn't show the little pointed parts on it for some reason. Again, I mean, we're going to have the exact same swatches that we've had in everything else. That goes for the door and the stairs and stuff too. I didn't run through them, but again, that's because it's exactly the same. Okay, so everything does match. That's the good thing. The good thing is everything does match. Everything's going to fit together. I haven't noticed any kind of crazy variations or anything where the wood's just slightly off. So far, it does all seem to be matching. And it all has the exact same swatches, right? So it all should match exactly as it should. The spandrel is the same way as is the column, as is the stairs, right? The stairs comes in again, the exact same swatches as we just went through, with the exact same sort of distressing that we were seeing. So it's all a good match. We also have our windows here. We'll pull this up. We've got a total of 7 new windows. Again, I've used several of them. You can see I've used them here, obviously. And then up here, I used the sort of stained glass. Hold on a second. The sort of stained glass version of it, right? Which I like a lot. I think that looks really, really good. For one thing, it looks kind of collegiate to me, you know, in addition to just using it in an apartment building or a castle. You could use it on a college campus. You could use it for a library. Obviously, a lot of this stuff works for churches if you want to build a church, some sort of sanctuary, maybe a wedding hall. It also would work for all of those sorts of things. But that's where I use that sort of window there. Otherwise, you do have, what do you have? You have the exact same swatches essentially as everything else. The big difference are these 2 swatches that, you know, have the stained glass in them. So and there's only 2. There's that one and the one we saw above here next to it. Those are your 2 with stained glass. I really wish they had done more stained glass windows with this kit, or more stained glass options with this kit. Each option that has it, it's exactly the same, right? It's exactly the same option. And there's only 2 of them, and that is really unfortunate. I would have liked to have seen a lot more stained glass options here. You know, what can I say though? I like the 2 options that we have. I think they look really cool. I just would have liked more. And I'm going to say that's going to bring me to my one big kind of concern with this pack. It really leaves you wanting more. There's some great things here, and I really like them, but I don't think anybody's really going to build much of a structure using just this kit, right? It is just $5. I don't think it's a bad deal. I think it's 25 cents an item. It's not a bad deal. It's still a better deal to buy a stuff pack or a game pack or an expansion pack versus a kit. I think a kit ultimately ends up costing you more, even though on a per item basis, even though the initial buy-in is cheaper, right? That's kind of the technique of microtransactions. It's kind of the technique of that sort of low-cost DLC. Oh, it's only $1, yeah, but you only got, you know, a couple of items here where you might have had to pay $10, but you got to get like a whole stuff pack, right? With some gameplay items, all this different stuff. Okay. So that's the only bad thing. I would have liked to have seen this as at least a stuff pack, maybe even a game pack. Well, hell, I wouldn't even have minded a whole full-blown, you know, expansion pack with a medieval town. You know, something that really went in depth to a sort of niche market sort of idea, a niche idea for the game. But what's here is really cool, and I do really like it. One of the bad things, the round windows, I posted this on Twitter. You know, this works really well with the round window. Some of these don't work at all. So see, when I place that, it just leaves that big open hole, right? Right. So some of the windows in this do not work at all. And in fact, really, yeah, because see, that one doesn't work either. I think about the only thing that did work in the end was that first one that I put there, that little one. I really don't know. I do feel like sometimes I would put one of these up and it did work, but not very well. And it looked really kind of wonky. Let me try it on a higher floor, maybe. There was something where maybe let me take that out. Oh, there we go. See, it does kind of work there. Okay, it kind of works. But it still looks wrong. It's way too heavily shadowed. It's not supposed to be that dark. So it's almost like it's reading it inside the building instead of outside the building. So the windows really do not work with and then it only worked because I had another window there kind of with it. I don't know. Anyway, let's just call it that the windows don't really work on curved walls except for this little one does. The little one does work on curved walls. Not terrible, because you can use windows from other packs, but unless you have something that has some black in it with the white, it doesn't match that well with the things in this kit. And really, these windows should work on curved walls in some fashion because so many castles so far I've seen have turrets. People are building these rounded walls, these rounded kind of towers, right? Sort of fairy tale castle. So if you're going to have a fairy tale castle, you want to have windows, going up the tower or something, right? That's a drawback. It's definitely a drawback there. I do think it's pretty much the only drawback I can think of. It is otherwise a really good kit. And I guess that's it. Okay, I guess we have come to the end. That's how quick you go through it all. It's only 25 items. I do like it. I do like it for $5. If you got $5 extra bucks, sure, grab it. If you don't, wait probably or look already. Probably some custom content creator has something a lot like it. That you could just download for free if you don't have $5. The Goth, let's go here to Goth Galore. We're going to pull up my sim here. Some of them I've already worked on because I posted a few pictures on Twitter. This is my family here for this particular build. Where's mom and dad? There's the baby. There's mom. There's dad. Now, dad is already dressed in his goth finest. I'm going to put in a cheat too, just to be sure. We're gonna bring up dad here, bring everyone else with us, and we'll take a look real quick at this Goth Galore. Now, the Goth Galore, I do have a toddler in my game to test, the build I'm doing, but there's nothing for toddlers or kids in the Goth Galore pack. At least, yeah, I mean, there is nothing because there's no new hair or anything that might work for both. Sometimes the hair will work for like all the age ranges and stuff. That's not the case here. So we go in here, we'll do the guy first. We're going to take a look at masculine kit here. As I recall, there are also 25 items in the Goth Galore kit in a variety of swatches, of course, right? So again, you're looking at about 25 cents per item. I think that's correct. I should have looked up exactly how much is in the Goth Galore kit. I don't know. Maybe it's just 20, in which case that would be a little more expensive per item. I don't know, 20 or 25, one or the other. So these are our options here. We've got black. Of course, it's goth. We've got that black. I like that. Actually, this is probably my favorite outfit, the one that he's wearing. I do like the way it looks. I like a lot of other people, it kind of strikes me as goth, but kind of doesn't, and kind of strikes me as goth, and kind of strikes me as very, I don't know. And I don't really know what I expected with the goth pack. I will say this. I kind of wish they had done something like a traditional medieval Gothic look. That would have went along great with the Castle Estate pack. It really would have made them a great pairing. As it is, I mean, this works okay if they live in, this apartment building, right? They moved into an old apartment building, a Gothic Revival apartment building from maybe a century ago. But it's a very modern look. That's his full body look. When it comes to tops, we'll see here, what have we got under the masculine stylings? Got 5 new tops. So we've got this one, great, sort of our typical looks here. Again, it's okay. I don't look at this though. I mean, maybe that one a little bit. I don't look at this and think, oh, that's goth. You know, that just looks like kind of maybe a motorcycle jacket and a t-shirt to me. It doesn't look goth. Maybe a little rock and roll, a little. Actually, it just looks like a normal thing you see someone walking down the street wearing. Now, you know, he's got eye makeup. That might be a little bit different. And keep in mind the hair that we see, any hair we see as we're going through this stuff, there's no new hair with this pack. That's just hair from a random pack, dyed silver. So yeah, that doesn't really strike me as gothic. To me, it just seems like a normal outfit. This seems a little gothy, but a lot of this stuff I looked at and what really hit me looking at it was ska. I don't even know if people listen to ska music anymore or if it's even a thing, but it feels kind of like late 90s, early 2000s to me, like skateboarder-ish, you know? And especially coming up when we get into these sort of like long shorts and kind of baggy capri length type pants, that really screams that look to me more than I would imagine goth, right? Don't know. Again, this is now I like some of this stuff, don't get me wrong. Even if I think it doesn't look entirely like what I thought goth was going to look like, I like some of the looks, and I think they've got a use, you know? But again, some of this doesn't look all that different to me. Maybe that one looks different. That one looks different. But a lot of it doesn't look too different than just clothes, you know, just clothes you would wear. This looks a little different. This looks a little punk rock, you know, maybe a little goth, modern goth, 21st century goth, Gothic revival, maybe. That's kind of cute. So yeah, I mean, we've got that, and then we've got this. This looks more goth to me. This is probably the best one in the pack, at least out of this 5 especially, but maybe even including that full body outfit. It does have this great gothic sort of hood over it. Again, if it was me, I would have made some sort of tail off this coat to give it more of a gothic appearance, made it a little more sort of cloaky, you know? I think that's more what I think of when I think of gothic. I think more of a really dark, ominous, medieval sort of look. But we've got this. The hood looks really great on it. Kind of go through here. I don't know if the swatches feel that much different from each other. Again, the clothes swatches do kind of feel the same from outfit to outfit. Like, just the style of the clothes is different, but the coloring and the patterns are kind of the same on a lot of the clothes. I will say real quick, this is super cute. Love this. I do love this. Now, this is super cute. That does not look at all gothic to me. Again, this looks a little bit 80s, I think, because of the pink and teal. And it looks like something I would have expected someone in the 80s to be wearing. Honest to God. That's what I would expect because it's got these kind of little buckles on it. And you know, it kind of zips up to the shoulder there, and it's got pink and teal. Yeah, I don't know. It looks kind of like a beachwear for the 80s. So we got that. We'll check out our bottoms real quick for the masculine side. Now, I will say, because I think there's, like I said, I think there's only like maybe 20, 25 items in this pack. So quite a few men's items so far. We're up to 6, right? Men usually get the shaft, you guys. So we're doing pretty well as far as guys stuff goes. We got 3 more pairs of pants here. Now here, see this especially, you throw in those pants, right? Those pants, those boots, and we'll switch this out a little bit to like this. Okay, tell me he doesn't just look like any like ska skateboarding dude, you know, from the late 90s, early 2000s. To me, that's what this whole picture says. A whole lot more than goth. That's what it says to me. Let's get back here to our shorts. So again, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I dig that look. It looks super, super cool. But it does not, to me, say, oh, you know, check me out. I'm gothic, right? I love this. I'm going to change that. I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to give him this top. So cute. Oh, I do love that. Okay, so we're going to go back over here. I do love that look, right? Like, I love that look. That looks super cool. That does not look gothic to me, but it does look super cool. Then we've got kind of these sort of I call them kind of capri length because they look like they kind of ride up a little bit around the ankles. They're probably longer than capris, but they, again, kind of have that baggy feel. I'm going to guess we're going to get kind of the same look, right? We're getting the same patterns, same colors, just a different style. I don't know if I love that or not. On one hand, I kind of do. I kind of do like these matching outfits where you can have this sort of coordinated look, these sort of coordinates. I do kind of like that. I think I'm really surprised because it's kind of unusual, I feel like, for The Sims to do that, where in a pack, you've got this color and pattern coordination and just the sort of style is switched. So I'm really surprised by it. But I actually do think I really like it. I really do. Because like then these things all work together so well. You know, you can count on you're going to find something that this matches in this stuff, right? Like these pants, right? So I do kind of dig that. I think I've got these like super skinny pants, maybe a little more goth, I would say. This pair. Yeah. So we got that, got the pink version. Love those. I love that look. I love that pink look. I can't get over it. I totally do. So we're going to do this here and this one. I'm going to put it back in the pink because I dig it. Now we've got a couple of pairs of shoes with this new pack. I think they're both masculine and feminine. And we'll see when we pull up the feminine stuff, how much of it is just shown in both categories. As you know, in The Sims, either sex can wear either category. So, you know, they're all pretty much favorable. Now, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the boots are going to follow the same setup because it does kind of look that way. Let's see here what we got going. Let's put them in. Let's do some colors down here. So we got that color. We got that. Kind of run through these here. Purple's pretty cool. Like the red. That's cool. So really cool look. These do look nice. Love the pink again, and then we've got that kind of color pink as well. I'm gonna go back to this pink. Looks really cool. You know, he's digging. He's working a look. He is totally with it. These boots are going to be the exact same. Okay, so I'm gonna move him over to these pink boots. You know, they got really high, almost platform, or they are platform heel. So all the colors are exactly the same as we just went through for the first pair of boots. We're going to put those back on him. And there are some new accessories. We've got, we'll see if they come up under masculine. Sometimes accessories only come up under like feminine for some reason. In this case, no, it is showing us the gloves, which come in pink, right? Kind of hard to see them, but you can see them a little bit, which I'm kind of surprised by. The fact that we can see them coming off here, I'm kind of surprised because I really did expect for the sleeve to screw that up, where they wouldn't show it all. Again, we're getting the same sort of colors and patterns here as everything else. Throw those pink on there. And we've got a bracelet. I've used the bracelet already. We'll see if it kind of does it here. Okay, so it's not working with this particular shirt. I did use it with another shirt with this guy, and it did just, or maybe with her, maybe with, oh, what's her name? Bobby down there. I did use it maybe with her, and it did lay on top of the sleeve. It didn't just disappear. In this case, I think it is kind of disappearing. I mean, we're not going to get to see it, but it's a bangle. It's got a little bit of detail in it. It's got the exact same colors as everything else. So very, very coordinated sort of pack. And then we've got not much up in here. We've got a little bit of accessories, just like a pair of earrings, I think is all. Oh, and a necklace, Now we're going to check this again. Now, again, I tried this necklace earlier on that female character. It did lay on top of her shirt. So will it lay on top of his? We'll see. No, because I did select it and it's not showing up there. Let me get back up here. It's not showing up there. So even though it laid on top of hers, and here in a minute, I'll see if I can pull up the outfit. It should be with her, you know, in her inventory. We'll take a look at it. It does not lay on top of this shirt. You can say that. You can see there he does have earrings on in the back. Let me see if I can just take his shirt off. So we can take oh, there's the necklace underneath the shirt. This is the earrings. It's two separate styles, right? We've got these sort of cuffs on that side and this sort of, I guess, a dagger, like a spike or something on the other side. His eye makeup. Do you think it comes in the exact same colors? You do. You're right. It comes in the same colors as we've seen so far. I put him in red there. Can be gold. The gold's kind of cool. I don't mind the gold. We're going to actually put him in pink. We're going to keep that coordination going. And of course, this also is following the trend. So this sort of like, necklace here, I'm going to try to pull back a little bit to see it. This necklace follows a trend with coloring, right? Right. There is nothing like a hat with this pack. Double check, but I've gone through it all already. There's no hats. No new beards, no new hair, nothing like that. We don't have any other accessories either. It's just those two things. So, yeah, because it all should have pulled up there. That leaves makeup. There is a little bit of makeup with this kit. He's wearing one of the eye makeups that come with it. And there are 3. So, well, no, maybe there's not. Maybe this is just a variation of the one. I thought there was more than one, but maybe it's because there's variations within this. That's kind of weird. Maybe he was wearing the feminine. He could have been. I think I did originally select masculine and feminine when I was dressing him. Let's go up here. There we go. I guess I did. Because, yes, he was wearing this here. He was wearing that version, which you can see is actually still there. It's actually still there. It's just covered up by this very dramatic, mascara. We'll take that off. That's not my favorite. That one's not my favorite. It does look kind of goth or emo, something. And then we've got a selection of new lipsticks. None of the lipsticks really grabbed me that much for the male form. I don't know. Maybe the pink would have been better. The pink's not so bad. That's okay. But again, we got the standard lipstick kind of colors here. These are all the same as we have for women. In fact, they only came up under the feminine options. This was the only male option that they had listed. And we'll click that off. Okay, so that is that. Now we'll look here at the female options. I'm going to see if I can find her everyday look here. There we go. That's how I dressed her. And you can see here, the necklace did lay on top of her dress, as we can see. And the bracelet did lay on top of, I guess those are just gloves, but it laid on top of the gloves. It didn't just disappear. So as from that standpoint, it did work. She's got another outfit here, but I think it's just the same one that the guy had, right? This is going to be the exact same thing. Yeah, so we've seen that. We can go here to the shirts. We've got that, which is not bad. We've got this. Let's take a look at some of the swatches on it. Again, just to double check, it's going to be pretty much the same stuff, though. It's going to be the same colors. So we've got that. Again, this does not look, Gothic to me. Some of this does not really look Gothic. But that's pretty. I mean, it's a pretty look. We've seen this. I think this is the exact same one as under the male form. I know this is the same thing as under the male form, right? In fact, I don't have men selected, do I? No. I have feminine selected, but it's just a repeat of the same items that we just kind of went through. Now, this is going to be, this only came up in the women's side. I've not tried it out on a man. My thought is because it has a substantially defined bust area, that if you put it on a man, he's going to have a substantially defined bust area, which, so, if that's cool with you and you don't mind, it'll work. If you just wanted this outfit for a typical, more flat-chested man, not really going to work. This as well is the exact same thing that we went through. There's the pink version. There's kind of the red version. And then we've got this sort of, I guess, kind of a halter looking version, midriff showing. And I like that. The crisscross is nice. It does have a different sort of style, I guess, as you go from option to option. This looks remarkably like this one, though. So yeah, this actually has a lot of different options underneath. It's not just colors, it's different styles underneath. So that's kind of unusual. I don't think any of the rest of these did. Let me double check this just to make sure. No, not really. I mean, some slight variation, you know, where the sides are filled in a little bit more, but not really. This had substantial variations. And on our bottoms, we have the same pants, the same shorts, the same pants. Those are all the same as men. We also have, for women, these sort of short shorts, right? Now that matches really well with that outfit, though, okay? That's what I'm going to say. You know, this having the same patterns, having the same color, it does give us a great coordinated look. So we can mix and match these different things maybe easier than we normally can with a lot of items. So it's looking, I mean, to me, from that standpoint, it does look really, really good. I'm really excited about it from that standpoint. Got this sort of mini skirt here. Again, this is pretty cool. This is probably I mean, it's kind of like punk rock goth. You know, the things that get close to gothic feel a little bit more like punk gothic. And so it's not that they're bad, but they don't really feel gothic to me. They either feel like every day, like I feel like you could see someone kind of wearing this skirt anywhere, right? But it is a good look. There is no real different, well, there isn't any different. This is the exact same gloves as before. We have, you know, with the men, we have, and the exact same jewelry. In this case, you can see, like I said, that the bracelet does lay at least on top of some things. It is laying on top of the sleeve of this shirt. So in this case, it is laying on top of the sleeve. I don't know if it's just been designed that way for the female items, the female only items. Maybe that's the problem, because the items are either for both sexes or just for men, it doesn't work. Maybe it's a simple glitch and they'll fix. Well, if it's a glitch, it's probably not going to get fixed. You know, because it's not like game breaking, but maybe it will. Maybe it will. Now, up the boots. We'll look at shoes real quick, but again, they're the same. I know it already. Exact same shoes as the guy had, the women's size has. So, as you can see, the number of items that are just female specific are a little few in numbers. But I would say like every single thing the guys got, the women have in their inventory as well. So men have gotten left out of quite a few items. You can elect to put a man in anything you want, but women did get several more options. Let's see here. And that's about it, because again, we're going to have the exact same accessories as we had for the men. It is the earrings and the necklace. The only great thing is you can see the necklace lays on top of this particular shirt. I don't know how many it does, but it does on at least some shirts. If it lays on this shirt, probably whatever base they used that they changed and reskinned to look like this, it'll lay on top of every shirt that has that base, right? So that's the good news. We've got some eye makeup here. Whoops, wrong thing. Let me go here. Go this route. We've got this eye makeup. Again, we saw that on the guy. It is the exact same sort of stuff. So we've got a lot of different options here. Some of them are kind of subtle. I used that on the guy that you see there. Got this sort of stuff. And by subtle, I just mean the changes from one to another is subtle. There is nothing subtle about this. This is not a subtle look. This is not like where you're thinking, I'm just going to be a wallflower today. I just want to stand there. I just want to be in the background. I don't even want anyone to look at me or think about me or film me for the people of Walmart or TikTok or YouTube. I'm just going to blend in. That's not what this is for. That's not one of those days. But the changes between the different eye makeup is a little subtle and almost a little bit too subtle, if you ask me in some cases. Because some of them I had to click on twice originally when I was looking through this because I wasn't sure I'd actually clicked hard enough to switch to the next color. I kind of like that red. Red's kind of working it. We've already seen again some of the, the lipsticks here, right? For whatever reason, I would say that I think they look better on women than men, and it's probably just a social convention with me, maybe. Just because you don't see men in lipstick very often, maybe if we saw it more often, it would seem more natural on the Sims with me. Because I put them on this female Sim here. I think they all look great. I mean, I think they all looked really good on her, and I could have used almost any of them, right? Could have used almost any of them. I still don't really like this even on her. I'm like, there's just something about it. I've said this before a few times in my life. That looks like you gave a toddler a crayon and let them use your face as a coloring book, because what is that? What is that supposed to be? Now you know what that is supposed to be. I get it. That is I went out last night. I don't remember anything after about 7:30 or 8, and I woke up in the gutter of an alley, and this is my face. This is my face look. That's what and somehow you survived. Somehow you got lucky and woke up in the gutter in the alley, because that's a mess. That looks awful. I've never seen anybody with eye makeup like this except for maybe pure costuming or something. I don't know. But someone will use it, and it does have... It has a definite American Horror Story vibe to it, right? It definitely has that. I mean, it definitely, when I look at it, I think Hate American style, right? Hate Americans. This one right here looks like she has blood running out of her eyes. In fact, can we do red eyes? Do we have a red eye option? Let me see here. Is this pretty red? Yeah. Or what's this color? What's that? Purple. Let's go with that. We're going to give her those red eyes, and we're going to just call her American Horror Story. And then that, again, I think it just looks awful, especially looks awful with that eye makeup, though. But I'm going to leave it just like that. But the weird thing is that even looks like crayon, kind of. I mean, see how it's kind of smudgy and kind of scribbly looking? It really does look like she let a toddler use her face as a coloring book. And that is the Goth Galore kit. So what can I say? It's got a lot of different swatches. Some of the items I do really like. It's got good potential for game. I mean, I would have done it differently maybe. Or I wouldn't have called it goth. Maybe I would have just called it punk or alternative. Yeah, I might have called it alternative, because as far as alternative goes, it fits. It is definitely alternative. It's an alternative form of dress, and alternative, like alternative music, alternative rock music, alternative whatever. I think it fits that better than saying this is goth. This is Goth Galore. Don't know. It's a good enough pack. You can decide if you think it's worth $5. Now, I've had a lot of discussions about money, with reviews. And $5 for your average American middle-class person is a small cup of coffee at like Starbucks. Things are so crazy here in the States pricing-wise that the other day, I swear to God, a friend of mine and his son went out to lunch at a burger place. They got 2 bacon cheeseburgers, 2 medium fries, and 2 medium Cokes. It was $48, you guys. That's not with a tip. Okay, that's a base cost. $48 for 2 bacon cheeseburgers, 2 fries, and 2 Cokes. So yeah, I mean, you look at this, you think, well, $5 from that standpoint. In the United States, $5, I would probably use the stuff in this enough to justify $5. Because even just those pink and teal items, I thought looked like super 80s, and I totally loved it. I totally dug it, and I will use those, I think, quite a bit. That sort of stuff, I would pay $5. I'd buy the pack for $5 for that sort of stuff. A lot of the rest of it, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I would use some of this that much, but who knows? Maybe I know. Like, I probably won't use the blood eyes unless I hate that sim. Then I might. If I'm having a really bad day, I might go in and put blood eyes on them. Send them out to murder some people or something. But all in all, that's the Goth Galore kit, and I do think, I think it's fine. It's a kit. I always say this about the kits: you can take them or leave them. They're $5. There's just not much to say about it. They're not super exciting, but they're also usually not bad enough to bitch about. It's not like if you don't have it in game, you probably won't. The Castle Estate's probably better. If I could only buy one, I'd buy the Castle Estate because a lot of builds are probably going to use it. And if you like to download things from the gallery, there's probably going to be a lot of that stuff filtering into builds from here on out. So that's my feeling on that. Now that's it. That's it for the review portion, the walkthrough and review portion of this particular live stream. We're going to jump into this. I need some chapstick, something awful. Like I said, I'm living on the lunar surface now and without a spacesuit. And I am like dried out. But we're going to jump in here to some build stuff. I've really loved building this apartment. I hadn't even thought of building anything like this until this pack was announced, because I thought, okay, well, everyone's going to build a castle, right? Everyone's going to build a castle. Do I really want to go in and build a castle too? Well, I've built kind of castles and palaces before. We do have stuff in game to do that. That's, we can kind of manage. This is better stuff. This is really going to add to it, but you definitely can manage. So I didn't necessarily want to go through and do that again. Plus, I knew everybody else was going to be doing it. So did we need one more castle out of like 10,000 probably right now? No. So I thought, hey, Gothic Revival Apartments in urban centers like New York, specifically, you can look up if you want to see some inspiration. The Dakota apartment building in New York City, big inspiration piece for me with this. It wasn't really Gothic Revival per se, but in a way, you're going to see those sort of similarities. And no, I did not try to make an exact sort of copy of the Dakota. It was just an inspiration piece. I would say the closest thing where you might recognize is that, you could go through this portico to the courtyard at the Dakota, same way you're going to be able to go here. But I also took some inspiration from a building called the Bradbury Building in Los Angeles, and with this sort of glass roofed in center courtyard, which I'm going to call the winter garden for the residents here of this particular building. We'll build some sort of like indoor container type of garden here on the ground eventually. Now, when you look at the Bradbury, it has a cage elevator set up kind of like this, where there'd be one here and then one across over here. And in the case of the Bradbury, it would have iron rails and walkways all the way around, right? I'm not going to do that, but I did want to do something that looked like a cage elevator. Now, here's the bad thing. Does it really look like a cage elevator? I really don't know that it does, because we don't have it in game and it's not going to function. And I'm afraid people are going to look at it and be, what is that supposed to be? And so unless I put a big sign by it, which I can't do, that says cage elevator, I don't know if people are going to get it. But I have thought that there is a mod, or at least there used to be, that would make these elevators here. I do have an elevator right here, functional off of penthouse lots. So I have a build trick where you can use more than one elevator per penthouse already. And it's the same build trick that I placed that elevator here on this standard residential lot. In the case of penthouses, the elevator will work for every floor. If you have, say, an elevator on every single floor. On these lots, though, the build trick does not. The elevator will not work on a standard residential lot. But there used to be a mod that would make elevators work on a standard residential lot. So I might see if that is still around. I don't know if it was ever updated or if it was kept up to date. I haven't looked in a long time, and that was like 6-7 years ago. So it's been a while. But long story short, even if I did that, I'm still not sure that people would get that this is a cage elevator necessarily, because I would have to use, an actual elevator box all the way up. So we'll see. But if you're wondering, that's what that's for. And that's where the name Bradbury came from for this particular structure, because that was kind of a big inspiration. Now, one thing I've done with these apartments, as you can see, is I've tried to keep them sort of like they would have been designed in the early 1900s as far as an apartment layout, right? So in that era, you would have had a completely separated kitchen. You would have had like a little hallway where you would access your bedroom and your bath. In this case, this is a little bit of an anachronism to have an ensuite entrance from the bedroom to the bathroom through a closet. That would not have been the case. This would have been divided in half, and you would have had probably, a door here and a door here for a dual closet like that. And that's what you would have had. But I did... Whoops, let's just do it this way. I did go ahead and do that. You also would have had something of a pretty separated dining room. And again, chances are like this wouldn't have been here. So the dining room would have been really separated from the living room as a true separate room. Although this might have been here, might have been open. And this might have been here. It's hard to say. There was a little bit of an opening up of spaces beginning even in the early, 20th century, where things were entirely closed off as they had been before that. And then we've got a true entry hall and entryway with a closet, coat closet, hall mirror, and just sort of an alcove here, right? Where you could throw your keys, and that's about it. Maybe your wallet. You wouldn't have had a phone or anything to throw up there, but you could throw your stuff there when you come in during the day. So I tried to keep the floor plan pretty traditional. Long story short, pretty traditional. What I want to do on this side is replicate this one-bedroom apartment, mirror image it, on this side, and then set it up when it's time to decorate as though someone has come in now, like today, and remodeled it. Remodeled it into a more typical modern apartment, right? That there. I go ahead and put that there too, at least for now. I'm going to divide, I'm going to divide it off just a little bit because we are going to put that there. Kind of give a little privacy with the stairs. I'm going to have to play around with those stairs though. I kind of painted myself in a corner with the stairs over here. So, well, maybe not. Because I could just put the next set of stairs here in the middle. Okay. We'll do like this. We'll go across like this for now. And that. See, if I do check and the elevator mod still works, I'll do a live stream again tomorrow, continuing to work on this. Also tomorrow, I'm going to tour the resort we were working on before and upload that to the gallery. That kind of obviously took a backseat to this new pack launch, which kind of caught me off guard, literally just out of the blue. Now, one thing that wouldn't change, even if you remodeled your apartment, they probably would want you to keep the door. You're going to have to match the rest of this lobby area. So we'll go with that, and then we're going to go ahead and put in our stone here on this floor. grab some windows. Do. One thing I always hate is trying to make sure that I've got the windows exactly the same on each side so that I don't screw up and have kind of a wonky looking build, right? Then we'll go ahead and kind of frame out where we would have this sort of closet space, the alcove space, like so. And then we have, we have is that long enough? 3, yeah. It looks so much smaller as I'm over here working. I'm like, oh man, I hope I made them the same size on each side. Surely I did. Surely I did, right? Surely. So we got our dining room there. The rest of this area is living space, and then we're going to have kind of a fairly, how long is our hallway over here? 3, 5 spaces long. Is that right? Should be. And then we're going to have a kitchen here. Like so. And we've got a bathroom here. Something does seem a little off about this, though. Do. And then we've got a bedroom over here. Maybe it's right. I guess it's right. Because everything's matching up now. Everything fits the way it's supposed to. And then we've got kind of our closet area, like so. Now, of course, let's throw in some lights real quick since we have the walls lined out. Grab our little kind of puck lights here. Now, in the original build, of course, we had a lot of these particular arches, right? I have these arches here, here, here. And again, the windows aren't something we can change. That would be something we would have to leave alone with a, a real condominium board. That's always been kind of the joke in The Sims is you can't change your apartment because the condominium association won't like it. That's actually true when it comes to the exterior. Now, the interior, they usually don't care. And sometimes you might be able to change something on the exterior. It just would depend on what the change was and what kind of condominium complex you lived in and a whole bunch of various factors. It's kind of weird. Why isn't that lining up like it's supposed to? Is that right? I guess it is right. Okay, so we've got those windows in place. And then, let's see a little bleed over for some leaves, right, from our plants. We're going to use this particular window here on this corner spot. Let's see how I've lined out this particular living room over here. Because it looks a little like I did bump it out. Okay, so I must have made changes to the exterior of the apartment because I think I went ahead and bumped this out like this, right? Yeah, to create kind of a bay. on this side, like I have on the other side, on both floors, you know, down here as well. Do, 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 do. This side that we're working on right now, this is the original kind of thing I just mapped out, you know, like just kind of hurriedly mapped out to get started. And then as I was building, of course, I added some stuff. I took some stuff away, mostly added some stuff to give it a little more architectural interest on the outside so it does not end up being just a big box. We also have on this side a bump out, but I don't know if there's enough room over here. I guess there must be. There must be. How big is it? 4. Do. So it looks like I must have done like this, right? So I carved out part of the interior to create a balcony. And then I decided that wasn't enough. In fact, we don't have to do it like that yet. I went ahead and pulled it out one more. And then went ahead and put in this new frieze for it. And our new heirloom handrail here as well. Take that like that. Bring this in quite a bit. That should enable us to go ahead and bring this frieze. Okay, there we go. Now that takes care of that. We also need, I used this particular door, so it wouldn't be quite so heavy as the doors we have in game or in the kit, because, you know, those doors are very, very heavy, like a castle. Go figure. So we wanted to keep it a little bit light, so we used that, but we did use the new kit windows here next to it. Well, come on. Do like that. Okay, so that's starting to get us lined out to where our apartment is. Let me see here. I also grabbed this particular window and did it over here. Down here as well. So as you can see, this is a pretty big build. I got a lot left to do on it. But I mean, it's not, I've really enjoyed it so far. It has not been really that hard of a build. And the new pieces do really help. They're very cool. I always love getting new build pieces. That always helps. And we'll go ahead and grab these windows here and put them where they would be in the kitchen. Okay, so is that set as far as windows and doors that we're going to keep, exterior doors? Is it all set? I think so. So if we were going to come in here into this space, this is what we have, right? We are brand new with this apartment. Let's see here. We're going to, put in kind of a door here to the closet, door to the kitchen, door to the bathroom. These doors really don't matter, but we'll go ahead and put them in just for the sake of saying that we are new to this apartment. We are just now moving in. And we'll go ahead and grab a light here for the hall. And that's where we would be. So, if you moved into this sort of apartment, and now if I moved into this apartment, no, I would keep it like this, right? I would keep it like this. I wouldn't try to take it modern. But a lot of people, if they moved in, the first thing they're going to do is start knocking out walls, right? Knocking out walls, knocking out the archways, stuff like that. So you're going to see an awful lot of, like, they might keep this, right? Like, I'm going to put this here, leave this little entryway kind of set up in a traditional style, right? They might do that. Let me grab some flooring here. In the case of the flooring with this particular apartment as well, I mean, I think it's probably, nice enough that they might leave the flooring. We'll decide as we go through here as the person in question, right? As we kind of imagine ourselves buying this apartment. What would we do? Would we keep the flooring? Would we change it? Put this here. And then we'll grab this basketball flooring, put it in here. Okay, so this is what we inherit. We inherit. This is what we get. Maybe we do inherit it, right? Maybe we inherited grandma's, fantastic apartment overlooking Central Park in this building that is so hard to get into. Basically, you have to be rich and famous, and then you're still not guaranteed of getting in. And we're going to remodel this place. So, like I said, the first thing most people are going to do, they're going to come in and be like, okay, let's take out this wall here. Let's open up this space. Let's take all of this out. And in fact, we'll see where we end up. But I think a lot of people might, in this day and age, might try to turn this into a 2-bedroom apartment, right? So you would take this out and you'd go ahead and you'd take out all the access here, between you and the kitchen. You take that out. And then you might, like I said, I think in this day and age, I wasn't going to come at it from this direction, but I mean, I think you might find this, bedroom, bath. And then this is the living kitchen area. Let me take a look and see what we've got here. What do we have to work with? We might even, if we wanted to try to keep the balcony intact for the living area as opposed to a bedroom. Take that out. And we could build a bedroom here. Yeah, build a bedroom there. And then we would have probably a kitchen along this wall, dining area here, living room here, which is actually pretty good size for a dining room and living room. And then, we could kind of steal a little space here from the bathroom and would take out this type of pass-through closet. We have kind of a kid's bedroom in here, bathroom, and adult's bedroom. And the adult's bedroom would still have kind of an ensuite access, so not bad. Let's go in here, put in the kids' doorway. And that probably would be where we would start. I think we would leave this in place, and we might leave this in place for character and charm. And especially, if I imagine that the first people who lived here maybe carried off some of this, Gothic revival here in the entryway and did, the stonework maybe just for the entryway. So then maybe the new owner would leave it. Maybe a good thing for the ad for the real estate agent, original details. That's what they call that. Original details kept, And let's see here. We will replace that flooring with some great new laminate here for the apartment dweller. Put this like that. Now, the one thing that we'd have trouble with, not so much with the kids' room, which is actually pretty good size and maybe even too big. I'm thinking for the adults' room, I really need space for some sort of closet, right? Now, we could do a closet right here. Although I find that to be a little clumsy and a little clunky. And my thought is maybe we just go ahead and steal some of that back from the kids' room, which does not need to be that big, and go ahead and make that a walk-in, a pass-through closet like it was originally. And then the adults' bedroom's a little bit, stays a little bit bigger, probably big enough, right, for an inner city, a New York City master bedroom. Walk-in closet. It is definitely not a walk-in closet by Midwestern standards, but I think by the city, right? And to say, you have a walk-in closet with ensuite bath, that's going to, again, be a really big selling point. And this is big enough for a kid's room. You could put a twin bed in here so easy, some dressers, a desk, stuff like that. So then we need someplace to put our kitchen. And our dining living area. This dining living area is big enough. One thing we could do something like this, and this. Gives us a little bit of privacy for, coming and going to the bedrooms, right? Which a lot of times people do like. I don't care if the door to the bedroom is visible or not, but maybe we're going to go ahead and make that concession here. And we're going to come through, build out our modern kitchen, right? Because again, what I've done so far, let's see here. I think I hit the wrong button, you guys. Get the sun back on. what I have done so far with the kitchen is kind of keep them maybe a little kind of antique looking, right? A little kind of 1920s kind of feel to it. So maybe we go ahead over here and make it really modern. See what kind of refrigerators do we have. We'll use a new pack, right? Super cool side-by-side fridge. Let's put it here, in fact. And then we'll grab some new countertops. Like that. And like that. And then I think we could just go ahead, just count these counters along here. Like so. And then we'd have a little dining kind of area here and a really pretty large living room. Whoops. And we'll go ahead and we'll put in, we need some sort of stove or cooktop, one or the other. I kind of want to keep the appliances all the same, so we will use a stove over here. And then we need a sink. Grab the sink from that pack. I do love this, by the way, speaking of the difference between stuff packs and a kit. I mean, you can imagine if this was a kit, that kitchen pack we got, it would have been a lot different than what we got. We got quite a few things with this kitchen pack. We got some new gameplay with it. And it's one of my favorites. I really, really like it. I was going to run a pony wall there, but unfortunately, if I do that, I've either got to scoot the kitchen up a little bit. I guess we'll do that. We'll scoot the kitchen up a little bit. It does make it a little tight coming in here from the entryway, the entry hall. But I don't know if it's that big a deal. I mean, I do feel like that's very apartment nowadays, where you come into the kitchen like that. We could also, though, we could design it a little bit different. We could go through, take this out, take this pony wall out. Go ahead and arrange the kitchen like this. Or we could pull it back even further. My thought is, looking at this as I'm staring at it quietly, is that, if we had enough space, we could almost put a dining room table here down the middle. So it would act as a work surface in a real house, a real situation. And the kitchen would have a lot more circulation space. So the kitchen would be doing that double duty as dining room and kitchen, right? And then we would have all of this space as a living room space, office space, whatever they want to use it for. So but I don't know if this is enough room for a table with chairs and to be able to work around all this. And in fact, my thought is it's not enough room. My other thought is we could, well, we really can't even go in here and put kitchen cabinets here because it's going to cover up the windows. So that's not going to work. I guess we could rip out the closet. Now, that's one thing we could do is we could decide to rip out the closet. Maybe make this some sort of closet where you could hang coats. Then we could extend our kitchen along this whole wall here. I mean, in The Sims, that makes more sense because the Sims aren't really going to use a closet and don't care, right? There's no limit on the amount of storage space that a Sim can fit into just a dresser. They can literally cram everything they own into that dresser. So we don't actually need the closet space. Now, I do like to maintain a certain amount of realism. So there is that. Mm-hmm. The other thing also is we could line the kitchen up along here and then a dining room with the living room over here, closest to the door. So if we put that there, and we could actually make this an office nook here. That makes for like a pretty big kitchen dining area. This is the sort of way I build when I'm offline normally. And that's really looking at a space because I came into this, we're going to do this modern kitchen, right? We're going to do this modern look. It's going to be a whole lot more open. And then as soon as I started, it pops in my head, oh, we should try to make this a 2-bedroom because in the modern age, someone would come in and be like, oh, hell, we don't need all this space. We don't need space for a formal dining room. We'll make that a bedroom, right? So let's go ahead and we'll just do XYZ, which, how big is that bedroom? 4x3? I mean, if we did a bedroom here, I think that's only 3x3 though. All I can really think is we go through and we take out this closet. What if we took out part of the closet? What if we just took out part of the closet and we maintained a small area? I will say one of the things I just don't like is I really don't know that I like the idea of walking in through the front door into the kitchen. So that is something that's holding me back on this. So the only real option I would have would be to maybe go ahead and do this. Let's make this the secondary bedroom, like so. We're going to try it. Will I keep it? Hell, I don't know. Probably not. We'll make that the secondary bedroom. Like so. And then let's see here. Whoops. Okay, so then we could take that out and that out and that out. That. And we could put our kitchen here, back where it was. Do. Just put that there. Let me grab a couple of corner cabinets. This is going to be actually quite large, I think, for a kitchen in New York, but I think it's going to kind of fit my vision better. Now, the hallways you enter is going to be a whole lot more narrow, but that kind of makes sense too. Again, I think in this day and age, you would have a more narrow hallway. You're not going to have this grand palatial hallway into this sort of an apartment, which is a 1-bedroom that's being converted into a 2-bedroom. So that's pretty much okay. And I think here in the kitchen, one thing we could do real quick is we go and we grab a couple of these, counters as a bar. So we put a bar here. We put this kind of bar here on the end. And then we could stick a couple of bar stools here. So that way, if you do have kids, or if you're just someone that doesn't eat at a table very much, you've kind of got that option of, hey, let's just sit here, let's belly up to, the bar stools, and we'll just eat here. And I think I'll go ahead and still put in a dining room table and chairs, but we'll have this as an option. And that does give us an actual dining room and kitchen together. Let's grab our upper cabinets. We're going to still use the same here. This is the corner cabinet everybody hates. Actually, I kind of like it. I do kind of like it. I wish there was a straight version so you can continue it all the way across. That's the one thing I don't like. It does seem a little kind of odd that it's just in the corner, but it's a good concept, and I think it's kind of a cool concept. They left off all the rest of them. I haven't looked too hard through surfaces real quick. Let me take a look here. Let me filter this by that pack. Because I could be missing it. Maybe I'm just missing it. Okay, so we've got this. Does it match? Kind of. It kind of matches. It doesn't exactly match, but it kind of matches. So, we could do like that, and then go ahead and continue. I guess it matches. I mean, I guess it does. And then we can just kind of continue around like this to give us a more modern, open feel with that kitchen. I'm actually starting to dig the kitchen. I do kind of like this. It's totally updated, a place to eat in the kitchen. We now have a 2-bedroom apartment here instead of just a 1-bedroom apartment. Cannot go wrong with that because you probably just added, this is New York. So let's assume this is like, how many square feet? Let's say it was not 100. No, maybe 100 square feet. I don't know. We didn't really add it, but we added a whole nother bedroom. So I'm going to say you're going to get 10,000. Well, maybe more than that. 100,000, probably 100,000 more dollars. Let's just call it that. This is New York, and I added a bedroom. I did not change the square footage. I just added a bedroom. I'm probably going to get 100,000 more dollars for this apartment. Easy, right? This is an income property now. You can Airbnb this. You can rent this out to people coming new to town. This is in a good area. This is a good area. This is a $1,500 a month room with shared bath. So we're going to go with that as such. Over here now, like I said, we could go ahead and we could put a dining room table in this space here, right? We could do a dining room table. And I'm going to go ahead and put one there. I think a table for 6 is what I'm going to use. That's probably big enough for this apartment. I wish we had a table that was like with leaves in it, right? So you can take the middle part out and squish it smaller. I would love that. I would love that. We don't have that though, so let's use this from Dream Home Decorator. Well, maybe. How about this version of it? It looks a whole lot more worn out than I thought it did. Is it supposed to look like that? Let's see here. What options do we have? I mean, I guess it's supposed to look like wood. Is that the idea? Yes, Jason, it's supposed to look like wood. Okay, it don't look like wood to me. Let's go ahead and we'll just do white. And we'll put it against the wall. Grab ourselves some like simple chairs here. I actually kind of love these chairs. I think these are super cute. They are very much, again, kind of an 80s, 90s type of thing. Maybe even earlier. I say 80s or 90s because I think they were called Brewster chairs or Brewers chairs or something. I don't know. Anyway, in the 90s, like the late 90s, in my apartment, I did not have a lot of furniture at first, right? I didn't have a lot of furniture at first. And so what I did was I found one of these. I don't even want to say this. I found one of these in the garbage. Okay. So I found it when I took the garbage out to the dumpster. There was one of these chairs in the garbage and it had like the cane seat was broken out. That's what had happened, right? So the seat was like cane, like, a kind of lattice work of cane, like rattan or cane or whatever. And so it had broken over time, right? But I thought I had like a cushion from somewhere, and it was like the cushion to a stool or something, like a square stool. But the cushion was kind of ripped. Okay. So I thought, well, I could put the cushion on here on the top, and then that would cover up the hole so you wouldn't fall through it. But it was kind of, obviously it was kind of ugly, and it kind of looked like I had just pulled it out of the trash because I had just pulled it out of the trash. So I went ahead and I put a pillowcase over the whole thing. You could just slide a pillowcase over this because see how, the leg, there's no leg or anything here. So you could put a pillowcase over this. And I used thumbtacks to thumbtack it up underneath. And it actually looked like I had like a reupholstered kind of chair, right? And so I used that chair for the longest time, even after I'd like normal furniture, good furniture, store-bought furniture, right? I still used that chair for the longest time. But I did that with a couple of other chairs I got at a garage sale once. It was like they were really cool. I thought they looked so cool. Kind of remind me of like Ames chairs, but in a little dining chair type setup. They weren't Ames chairs, but they kind of reminded me of that. But again, like the seat of them was just all jacked up. So I just went to like the fabric store and bought like some cheap remnant fabric, because I had stuff left over and it was real cheap. And so I just, bent it around the cushion because the cushion was really easy to take off. The rest of it was wood, and just used thumbtacks to stick it into place and screwed it back on there. Voila, done. Okay, and done is what our dining area is. So we got this dining area here. I think this is pretty good. Now, in reality, we might take these two chairs out, right? And we would probably keep this against the wall, something like that maybe. And then we would just pull it out if we were going to use it for something. And probably one of these chairs I'll put as an office chair, I guess. Because we could put an office in here, in this alcove. Let me see here. Now that I think about it, I was just thinking, where am I going to put an office? And I think, here's my thought though. I am a little worried that they won't use it because of this archway, so we'll have to test that out. But I'm going to go ahead and stick in a desk in there. And I'm also worried if I end up putting a desk in there, either I don't want to use that as the desk chair, or I need to change all these chairs or something to match the desk chair. I don't know which is better. I do think we will try to find, though, something that's not going to really impede the window too much there. So we've got something like that, very rustic looking, very castle-y looking, right? So maybe, this is from the horses pack, by the way. So maybe we could do that. Like so. And then just do kind of a chair to go with it. That also is kind of beat up. It might be too beat up because it's kind of looking a little bit like a castle that caught on fire. Like a castle that caught on fire, and then they took this table and they threw it out in the dumpster. And then I just moved into this apartment. I was like, oh my God, that would make such a good desk. Let me grab that real quick. That'll be awesome. Oh my God, I can't believe they threw this away. Okay, so that's an option. Let me take a look at what else do we have here that might work. We've got this from Batu. It's kind of industrial looking, but I do like it. And it's small. Doesn't take up a lot of room. Otherwise, we've got this, but I think it covers up too much of the window, right? Yeah. And I don't think there's a lot else. Unless I did something like that or something, which I really don't want to do. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and live with this. I'm going to live with this desk. I'm going to live with it. I'm going to go ahead and go here and just kind of maybe go with, I guess that color looks maybe better to some extent. Even though I think this looks a little bit more, again, like a castle. Okay, let's go with that. We'll go with that, and let's find ourselves a chair here to go with it. We need something suitable for a castle that caught on fire, a castle that caught on fire, and they took that table and they took those chairs and they threw them out in the dumpster, and we rescued it. We upcycled it. We upcycled it right back into existence. Let me take a look at this. This might work. If it wasn't painted, I think that could work. We upcycled it right back into existence. We do have this. Like that would probably work okay. Does it not work as a desk chair, or is the archway getting in the way? There we go. The arch was getting in the way, so that's probably going to be a problem, but we are going to try to get around it. We are. We're going to check it out here in a minute, see if we can get around it. We have this from Selva Dorada. Now, this might work. It's not going to be very distressed, though. Yeah, and the wood tone isn't exactly the same. What do we have from Horse Ranch? What is here from the Horse Ranch chair-wise? This is what we have from Horse Ranch. So we have something like this. I love this in orange. This is one of my favorite chairs. I've already used it in this building. In fact, I love it so much. But I guess we could use it again if it comes in something that will work. The bad thing about it is I don't really want to do an animal print on it, which is why I use that orange so much. But I guess we could, let's try it. Let's try it with the animal print. I'm going to put that in there. Now, what I'm going to do real quick is we are going to test that real quick, because if it's not going to work, then I'm going to have to tinker with it anyway. Let's just get the tinkering out of the way. This is the typewriter I use too, since it's supposed to be kind of an old building. Let's just put in the typewriter, the computer I use, because it looks so old. Let's see if old, what's his name? Todd can make his way over here. He should be able to. If he stops playing games. He lives here right now. Uninstalled. No, he loves video games. He's going to make his way over from his apartment over here. He's going to walk in like, I thought this was a 1-bedroom too. I didn't know this was a 2-bedroom. It is now. Okay, let's see if he will play this. Yeah, he did. Okay, so that works out just great. We've got a fantastic alcove office there now. Love it, love it, love it. I will decorate that up with some stuff, as we move along. Probably put some sort of, plant. No, when I say decorate, I don't throw like a plant on there. Maybe like, Zombie Carl over in the corner, because he does like video games. Todd there does. So yeah, maybe that. So yeah, our office works really great there. I love that. I feel like I'm batting 1,000. Now, the only thing is these extra 2 chairs, I guess we could leave them in here. I could probably put one in the kids' room at its desk, whatever it may be, or whoever has that room. And I suppose the other one, the other one could go here in the closet. Yeah, let's do that. It can just go in the closet. That's where I would put it. Like if I didn't need all that seating, I just put those extra chairs in the closet, right? Just stack them up and you're good to go. Now, for our new living room in here, for the 21st century, I feel like obviously we're going to need a big TV on this wall, of course, and maybe I'm going to look at the sectionals real quick. I don't know if we can do this. I think we can do it. So we'll take a look here and see. I'm going to do kind of a dual zone sort of living room, and we'll do books here, maybe kind of a quiet area for conversation and all back here with our television over here. I'm going to take this light out. We're going to put in a chandelier over where the dining room should go. of some sort of chandelier. Seems awfully big. Put that there maybe. We also could use a chandelier here in the hallway. We could use something like this. I've been using to some extent the Journey to Batu kind of chandeliers, stuff like this. In fact, this one works really well. We're going to make it a little bit smaller so it doesn't get in the way. In fact, that might be, let's see if I make it a little bit bigger. That ought to work. For the kids' room, we're going to throw in this, my standard kids fixture, a solar system, so that they can study while they look up at the ceiling. And then let's see, bookshelves. We have this sort of stuff. Something like that. Then maybe go ahead and bring this around. Like so. But I would want it to look like it does actually intersect there. Let's see if I can eyeball it over maybe. Come on. Come on. Shoot. Is there a corner version of this? I don't think there is, because I kind of wanted to go around the corner there. I've not done this before, but when I was looking at it, I thought, that'd be kind of cool. And we could wrap bookshelves all the way around. And like so. Now, I don't know if I like that or not. I mean, I thought I was going to like it, and when I started out here, I had high hopes for it, but okay, thank you, son. That was my son. I did have high hopes for it, but I'm not sure that I love it that much now. I think I'm going to have to tinker on that one and tinker on this apartment some more later. I actually am going to head off and have some dinner with my son. It is dinner time here. But you can see where we're headed. We've turned this one-bedroom traditional apartment from, say, the 1920s into a more modern two-bedroom apartment in a time when people in the 2020s, 100 years later, and people have a little bit lower expectations about how much room they're going to use in their apartment. I think we will still have a pretty good setup here. I just need to figure out this space and kind of what I'm doing over here, where I'm going, and it will get figured out. And please hit like, subscribe, and notify if you've been watching and you like this kind of apartment we're working on. We'll continue working on it tomorrow and do a lot more work on this building, finishing it out using the castle stuff. Now, a lot of the castle stuff is exterior build stuff, but we need to go through and really finish off, some of this area, like this back side, the back entrance over here needs to be developed, fully developed, and the rest of this building needs to be developed as well. I will not decorate every apartment for this building, just some of them, but some of them will decorate, and we also need to do the lobbies. And tomorrow we will tour the resort at Tomarang, the resort I've been working on like last weekend. We're going to tour that and upload it to the gallery because it is done. So until then, as always, thank you for watching.